I'm just asking Zelda to tell everyone about the process because she worked really hard and it's not easy and she does a tremendous job. This program means so much to all of our children.
Do I need to? Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I think so. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Beth, Board of Education, all my colleagues, the teachers that we work with, the parents and their students. I was particularly nervous this year, in full disclosure, because for those of you who do research, if you do a qualitative style of research, there's a term, and it's called saturation, all right? Saturation is when you recognize these commonalities after conducting many different types of interviews with your participants, and you look for common themes. And so to bring that, I was concerned because we're currently in year 5 of the 5-year grant cycle, which led to the direction of our previous superintendent to me to submit the competitive application. And this is the 15th year Plainfield Public Schools has been a 21st century grantee. Yes, thank you for that. So I had 2 concerns, that there would, the state, not the federal department, but the state department will look at, okay, Plainfield has had the grant for enough time. Let's offer this opportunity to some new prospective grantees. And secondly, as you referenced, that absolutely knowing the level of competitiveness. I attended the technical assistance workshop prior to the due date of the application, which was April 25th. And it was overwhelming. There were between 150 to 200 people sitting in that room, right? So I knew at least about 100 to 150 of them were going to submit a competitive application. And knowing that with the North, Central, and South Jersey, the state was going to award 4 new grantees in each area, which is 12 out of 100 to 150. I think that's pretty awesome that we were recognized. And it's not me, I don't do this work alone. I absolutely don't. So I would like to thank everyone's support, but especially my colleagues, as I referenced earlier. For example, I see Kwame sitting back there, and I was in Florida on a student school-sponsored field trip, and I read the NGO again, and it indicated I needed to submit a report on the justification for the schools that we identified in this new application, which are, for your reference, Plainfield High School. So we're delving into a high school site for after school and summer, which will present its challenges, but also some great opportunities. Hubbard Middle School, Evergreen, and Barlow Elementary Schools. So Hubbard and Plainfield High School, as we all know, are 2 schools identified on the state schools in need of comprehensive support. So it's required to submit justification to the selection of those schools. And I didn't realize it until I was doing my final read-through to make sure that everything was there. So Kwame, thank you for responding so swiftly, and Mr. Roach as well. And I don't believe he's present tonight, but also Jean Gordon, because they were able to provide me with the data that I needed to compile a 2-page double-spaced justification. So we look forward to this 4th 5-year grant cycle. And by the way, I think Plainfield Public Schools is the first entity in the state of New Jersey who at the end of the grant cycle will have the award for 20 years, which is pretty fantastic.
All right, thank you so much.
Let's go